Hi, Mayor Al here and our Downtown Redevelopment Coordinator, Tom Stroh. And today we would normally be doing our Downtown Redevelopment Committee, but we don't have a need to bring the committee together. We just want to give the public an update where we are. We think we've made great progress over the last several months, and we're very close to having a plan that we're ready to move forward with. And Tom, why don't you tell them the details?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. As you said, look, we wanted to provide an update, at least. We didn't have a reason to get the whole committee together. There's nothing to really vote on at this time, but we at least want, for people out there who are watching and want to know what's going on, we want to do this update. Basically, where we at is the committee has been working very diligently to come up with parameters that we want to see in a downtown redevelopment plan. And we've talked about some of this before. Basically, we want to keep the plan, the maximum building height to no more than 4.5 stories. We want public parking distributed throughout our downtown. We want parking ratios that ensure that we have a plan that's fully parked on site so that cars aren't being parked all over the place in downtown. So we basically have agreed on the parameters that we think will work best for our downtown. Sent those to the developer and said, listen, come up with a plan for us within these parameters. And we're going to give them tons of flexibility to be able to do that, as long as they keep it within the parameters that we've asked. And what we're basically looking to do too, from a planning side and a financial side, we've streamlined this process that we're asking the developer to start with redevelopment on just District A first. And District A, if you don't know where that is, that's the
And what's going to be
library.
what's going to be there?
Well, what we're basically looking at is we're trying to combine, we're coming up with a plan to combine the library and town hall services as one building.
Mm-hmm.
As people know, we've been looking at the Plainfield Avenue area as a spot to potentially relocate our first responders in our municipal building. But we are now looking at an approach that would allow us to combine the library town hall, keep that within the downtown, and therefore significantly reduce the footprint on Plainfield Avenue and protect a vast majority of the conservation zone that's there. So we're looking to keep the library and the town hall in the downtown as one function for all the reasons we've talked about, attracting people here, the programming, library, etc. So we basically would have that in District A, and then the rest of the District A site would be mixed use, commercial, apartments, parking for all that project. And what that's exactly going to look like, we don't know right now. What we've given is the parameters that we'd like to see in an ordinance that we'd like to adopt. And then once we adopt that ordinance, the developer would then submit a site plan that would then be reviewed by the governing body to make sure it's consistent with that. And then we can negotiate from there. So that's where we are. We're hoping to really, move forward on this, updating the council on it once we hear back from the developer. But if we can get a plan together for District A, our professionals, the township, we're comfortable with that approach and working towards that goal.
Yeah, this has been a great project over the last several months, involving our developers, our professionals, the Downtown Redevelopment Committee, our developer. And, after a lot of talking back and forth, we've come to a conclusion that I think everybody's very comfortable with. The SPDRC is ready to send this proposal to the town council. And one of the strongest things we have in town is our distributed parking. One of the things we came to the conclusion was we need distributed parking. And we also came to the conclusion that there's no building that should be more than 4.5 feet high.
Stories.
I'm sorry, 4.5 stories. 4.5 feet high. We got a little small people there. But anyway, it's really a good plan. And next year, as they begin to roll it out, I think you're all going to be excited to see it. It's the beginning. It's going to take a while to implement. It's going to require certain financial things to happen, but it's very much within the realm of possibility, and it's not going to be a burden to the taxpayers long term. It's going to be really helpful. So with that, Tom, any more?
I did just want to respond to one thing, Mayor, that I did see a comment out there. People were asking why we didn't get the library grant. The answer is we applied just like many other towns. Things were evaluated. There is supposed to be, as I've heard, some sort of feedback webinar or something for towns to learn maybe why they didn't get the grants. I haven't gotten anything on that yet, but some people have asked that question. Once we find out, we'll let people know, and we'll look to reapply for this grant in the next round once we get any feedback. But I don't, beyond beyond what, I think might be some reasons, we haven't gotten anything from the state as to.
And beyond the disappointment that we didn't get the grant, we always knew we had enough finances through all the new projects we have coming on board to finance the whole redevelopment of downtown, plus making sure that we don't put a burden on the taxpayer. In fact, we want this to be a benefit to the taxpayer. So with that, I'm going to say thank you very much, and watch for the new year as this plan is rolled out. Have a great day.